I want to thank all our partners for making this happen. Teamwork makes the dream work. And I believe that collaboration is a new currency. And so let's give it up for Flow, keeping us connected on the ground, streaming live. I want to thank our Minister of Education, Skills, Youth, and Information for coming through. I want to thank all our speakers, Trevor Forrest, Christopher Record, Nadine Matthews-Blair, Dr. Lusinga, Matthew Stone. There's a lot going on today, right? I want to thank the Jamaica Library Service, the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Library, Fiona Hutchinson, our librarian, for answering the call and making this happen. All the staff at the library, thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. As I said, I'm ambitious. I believe that the library can be the AI center, right? I believe it. So I'm going to be here a lot more in the future. I want to thank our parent mentors from the National Parenting Commission for coming out. I want to thank the entire Appfinity crew for making it happen. Talk Up Youth, Appfinity, one family. This is how we do it. We've been on the road all year, and we are here again, trending with parenting and AI. I want to thank the Ministry of Education as well. And I want to big up the Trend for a Brighter Tomorrow team for being here as well today, transforming education for national development. And we can transform education starting with the early education or the early childhood centers and early childhood education, right? That's where we begin. And you heard that from Nadine and some of the other speakers that touched the stage today, that we need to start with the little ones. My dress? Oh, sorry. AI, fix dress. Soon you'll have chairs. You must fix dress. It's going to be a fun future, man. Surf beyond the surface and enjoy it. Thank you for that. Oi, I know, right? No pun intended. Okay, so we're going to ask our CEO, please, to start. To kickstart this little post conversation and ask the parents to talk, man. Talk. Let's have a reasoning. And you can ask questions from the audience if you want. Just put your hand up.
Right. So you would have heard, thank you so much, Empress. Yes. You would have heard from several speakers today, and they were dynamic. We got a lot of information. And I know some of you are still making sense of what you heard and how you're going to apply, certainly, some of what you heard today. But I wanted to just find out from you what it is that resonated most. From all the speakers that you heard, what is it that resonated the most? And perhaps what's one thing you're ready to do in terms of a changed behavior? Because if we're just here to talk and then we go back to the way we were always doing things, then we would have failed. The idea is to spur this conversation nationally, so that we can have some behavior change, certainly, amongst our parents. So what did you learn? What's one thing that resonated today? And what are you committing to do that's different as it relates to parenting and AI? So, relate? Go ahead.
Thank you for this opportunity. I am certainly happy and elated, excited to be here. I would say what is in my head right now is the question of the policy that was created in August and how is it affecting our schools right now. That's what's on the top of my head. But based on what I've heard so far, presents to me what happens with my granddaughter. She already knows everything ahead of me, and I did study computer. I did study some of the basic computering, but she is way ahead of me. But I'm concerned as to how this policy is going to affect the schools, what it really means, and the association, how did it adapt to how they operated. Those are some of the things that I have in my head.
Right, thank you. But is there one thing that you heard today that now that you know that your granddaughter is way ahead of you, is there something that you heard today that's going to cause you to change?
I absolutely want to participate more with her. I absolutely am going to use her because she also has the ambition to be an entrepreneur. And I was just sharing with my fellow colleague, Winsome, that I want to work with her. And I am not that young. But I do still want to work with her because she has ambitions to become an entrepreneur. And in this day and age, I'm sure AI is going to be part of her systems.
Wonderful. Thank you. Next.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Answer.
Don't be shy.
Same question.
All right, for me, this is a little bit new. For me, this is a little bit new, but I'm willing to embrace the whole AI program because I'm a part of the PTA Central Branch, and we interact with the students every day, so we can find new ways to teach them and all of that, and find new ways to communicate with our parents. And I see this as an open door for us to see them a little bit more. Maybe they will have more intent of coming out when PTA meeting and those things to learn how their children learn.
Wonderful. Thank you. And then you.
So thank you so much for that question. All right, so for me, I would definitely apply it to my home. The AI process is not new for me, but it's not that frequent in my home, so I will definitely apply it. And for the rules part of it and the guidelines, I will definitely pay that part a lot of attention on that part because the kids, they are beyond smart. My son is 9 years old, and some things that he do on his gadget, you will be surprised. Mom, did you know that AI can teach you to fry a egg? I'm like, what? Yes, it can. So by you not being a parent at home, AI is there doing it for you. That's one. So if you just take that into hand and mother the kids where you said, okay, they are way ahead of you, so you just catch up with them. And for the deaf community as well, you have a lot of deaf kids that are brilliant with AI, where they are showing their parents how to catch on with sign language, how to catch on by what you don't know. You just ask AI, AI can give you that sign and everything. And I can introduce to you to just get to know your kids. Once you get to know your kids, they would definitely teach you about AI.
And I find it interesting that you said, get to know your kids. Sometimes we don't have a healthy relationship with our children because we're always like, don't do that! This is me every morning. I'm tired! I just told you, let's get in the car! But what if I were to stop and say, show me your phone, teach me that app now? Oh yeah, say brother. True? Because he's downloading apps all day, and I can actually see what he downloads, by the way. He has to get permission. So I track how much time he spends on each app. So I know how long he's on TikTok trying to dance to that video. And then I realized that he actually has other homework learning support apps that he finds. I've never introduced them to him. So I am just fascinated with what he can do on his own to help himself learn and get more information. But what about bonding? Can the technology help us to bond more and bond better with our children?
Certainly. I think, especially for homeworks, and you get a chance to learn the things and see the things that they are doing. So, for instance, at home, I have a 2-year-old grandson, and he knows how to share the screen, to watch one thing and do another. Yes, he's bright. I don't know how to do it. He is very brilliant, and it gives you a chance to see what they are doing. And for the parents who is not so well here, it gives them a chance to learn as well. So there's no shame in our game. There's a lot of parents out there that doesn't know how to use the gadget, much less read. Because at Central Branch Alley, we used to have an evening class. We want to get it started again, where we teach adults, parents, and so they can help the children with homework. So we do that.
And there's so many AI learning tools that can help them to teach their kids, you know?
Right.
So we have to really activate that. Yes, to you.
Right, because what you described with your son is someone who is a self-directed learner. But there are other students or other children who are not self-directed. Our youth speaker today gave us tools, there were resources as parents that you can use to help you as you try to navigate that space that allows you to develop certain competencies to help you as you're parenting your children. There are AI tools that help you to understand how to better communicate with your children. There are AI tools that support learning. We saw one speaker demonstrating how you could ask AI a question related to homework and how the examples were given. And so those of us who might be shying away, well, not me, my son is fully grown, he's an adult, but parents out there who might be shying away from being as involved in that learning process because they're not understanding content, strategies, teaching strategies would have changed as well. Concepts would have been added and differences to the curriculum. So here is an opportunity now for you to use this wonderful tool that has been in existence for a while, but is now accessible to everybody to say, as a parent, sit and I can ask AI, put it in an AI tool. And while my child is learning, I am also getting a better understanding so that I'm able to guide. You want to remind us of some of those tools?
Yeah, I think AI has essentially, the way I like to look at it, it's now empowering parents because, just imagine back in the day when your child came
Switch mics.
just imagine back in the day when your child came to you with some math homework, and it's probably a while since you did some of that math, and you're trying there to figure out, all right, how do I help my child with this math homework? But, you can think now if you can utilize the AI to maybe even explain it to you, and then you can use it to impart that knowledge to your child. So you can essentially use it as a tool to help you have a better relationship with your child. Because if now you're able to help your child, you're spending more time with your child, right? You're forming a closer bond with your child. And it's just going to help you with parenting in general. In terms of tools, I spoke about some of them, for example, like ChatGPT. It's free to sign up. Anybody can sign up with it. But again, it's not just using the tool. You have to be careful how you use it, right? Sometimes it makes mistakes. So whatever it says, just check if what it says actually is right. So actually do your research and make sure whether it puts out a date or whether it puts out a statistical figure, actually Google it. Actually make sure whatever it's saying is actually correct.
Yeah, thank you.
I would just like to add to some of the uses of such tools, because even that scenario we had at the church, at Heritage Church, we did the little exercise of putting a question to the AI. We used Meta, and the questions were very basic. One of the questions that I had discovered that gave good answers was, what is a good breakfast meal for a 7-year-old? And it was able to give not just the quick ones, but the ones that will take more time, and it was able to list the nutrients and was able to give the tips as to what you should avoid. So it went further than just the question of what is a breakfast item for a 7-year-old. So I find that there are other uses other than just learning tools that AI can assist in parenting.
Yes. I wanted to dial back, though, to something you said. As I'm always going to be coming back to teaching learning, because many times the frustrations that parents feel relate to that process when they have to sit down and help with homework. There is data that show that opportunities for abuse takes place most frequently when parents are helping with homework. So imagine now removing that level of frustration. There are frustrations on both sides. you might have an expectation that's not reasonable because you're thinking your child should have known a particular thing more. You're now removing that frustration. You might be frustrated too because the truth is you don't know, so you don't know how to help. You're removing those frustrations because you have this tool that can help you, and it gives you step by step. Of course, the trick here is that you have to be specific in terms of what you want AI to produce. So you have to be clear as to what you're asking it to do, as to how to help in the teaching learning process. But I find that if you have this tool that can help you and give you step by step the answers, that will help to remove some of the frustrations that definitely exist in that teaching learning process as parents are helping their children at home. Yeah.
All right. Any other question from the audience? We have one. Please come forward and ask because I want to see you on camera. Damien, please. All you have to do is come and stand next to me and ask the question. Yes. Stand right here. Yes.
Good.
Oh, sorry. Just stand right here and ask. Right. Where's Hussein?
Good afternoon. So my name is Tessady Robinson. It's not really a question, but it's a suggestion. As we're talking about AI and how we can help the kids to understand it much better so that they can use it to uplift themselves, I know a lot of kids normally use the AI to get answers and stuff like that, but what we need to do as parents and as individuals is teach them how to, don't just let them go directly to AI. Allow them to form a structure for themselves, then feed it to it so it can fix it for them. So it's not just to go in and put in AI how I do this and it gives you the thing. Allow them to be able to create the structure first. So don't just use the AI to get the answers, but also you have to think for yourself so that you can understand.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I'm saying that is certainly a good point. So it comes back to those values that you have. It's a value issue. So are you going to just allow a compromise of the teaching learning process? Or are you going to be using the tool along the lines of what your own values are? So would you have just allowed your child, if this were a textbook, to go to the answer section and just write it out and produce? Or would that, so the same principles apply? So AI, and we've heard these conversations from all the presenters, the same values that you have, the same strength of character traits that you want to inculcate in your children, they would apply to this scenario. So AI should not remove family values and family philosophies. What we want is for you to use the tools that are available within the context of what you believe your family value is, what's morally acceptable, what integrity looks like, and so on.
Matthew, and then we're going to take a question from the floor, and then... Okay, go ahead.
Pertaining to what the lady has just said, I think what you should do pertaining to this, what I'm going to do is you ask them what they think about the subject or the thing first to hear their views, and then you use the system to work with it. So at least they will have an understanding of what they're doing.
Right, because even when I am, you had said it before, Mr. Matthew, so you had said that you don't know when last you wrote an email or something.
You know, I want to, just because we're live, can we have her say that on mic? Because I have to, you're live, so I need you, she can come back up and just stay up here with us. It's one big family affair. We don't have any work to go today. AI's doing the work for me.
All right, so as I was saying, I recall that you said that you don't remember when last you wrote an email, right? I normally use AI, and I know a lot of persons do, but you know, it takes away from actually learning when you're going directly to the source. You have to create something for yourself. So we need to get the kids to understand that you don't just go directly to the AI for help. You have to actually have something, like you use your brain and then you ask the AI to assist you with it,
Well,
right?
it does. I think Matthew could maybe quickly respond because prompting is important. If you don't know what you're asking it, you may not get the right algorithm of response. I don't know if Matthew, I just want Matthew from a technology standpoint to respond to that, because if it's going to make your life easier, I want the answer. I'm going to ask for the answer, but when you talk about values, you talk about integrity, where do we draw the line here? Aren't we supposed to get the answer quickly?
I think
I'm just asking as a parent. Go ahead, Matthew.
so. I've thought about this for some time, and I think the thing as well is the education system is going to have to. I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but the education system is going to have to adapt to AI. And what I mean by that is even how we assess things. So back in the day, how we assess things, we just ask a question, and we just whatever answer they give you, it's either correct or not correct. That's going to have to change, right? So just imagine a classroom right now where it's the teachers at the front and the students are in front of the teacher. So the teacher is just delivering instructions, right? That's kind of coming from the old industrial age where teacher knows everything, the students just have to take it in. It's going to have to change now to a modern way where it's more like a collaborative effort. So instead of just, okay, I'm going to give the students some questions, I'm just going to mark whatever answer they give me, and that's where it stops. That can't happen anymore, because whether they use AI or whether they use Google, they can get the answers, right? AI is just a quicker way to get the answers, right? So the assessment now has to change. All right, you gave me this answer. Let's discuss it. Let me hear your thoughts on what the AI produced. The AI said this. Let's hear your thoughts on it. And even how the questions that were asked, it can't be as, we'll have to change the complexity. So it can't be a basic what is, where is, when is. It now has to change to, okay, what are your opinions on this? How do you think about it? That's now going to get the students to kind of use their brains. All right, let me actually share my opinion on what the AI is even saying, right? Because the student might not even agree with what the AI is saying. So all in all, I think the education system is going to have to adapt to the technology.
Thank you, Matthew.
Not only the education system, but we as parents, we have to take up our banner and run with it. Run with it. Because we are their first teachers, and if we don't run with it,
we're going to be left behind.
They are not the only one who's going to be behind. We're going to be behind them.
We're going to take one more from a youth, and then we're going to go to another parent in the audience who will come up. And if you have a question, just come up. We're capturing you on the stage. Step up for me. Thank you.
So before I even continue, I'd like to just say you guys did great in the presentations today. So congratulations on yourselves on that. I love the way you started off with the whole idea of the evolution of technology. And in that sense, there was this jump scare, shock type of mindset that AI would take over the jobs. No, the first question that I had was kind of related to the question that was mentioned before, about the whole AI making us lazy. I would have seen the separation in terms of like the family structure and the educational system when it comes to implementation of AI. Because I would have come from a time when I'm learning math, my dad would be beside me teaching me how to do the numbers, how to do the clock, how to do things like that. No, it's just like, okay, you got this homework. Yes. Just ask Google. Just ask ChatGPT. They're telling me to go and do this and do that. Well, not me, because I can do my work myself, but like I see my younger siblings getting sent to Google, and I'm like, but then you'd be up with me like till 1 o'clock teaching me the math, like, come on. And you see teachers might implement it as well. Not to say it's a bad thing, but in terms of how you utilize it. So now, since that question was already answered, I'd like to hit on the next question. In terms of technology as a whole, one of the speakers would have mentioned Kai Cenat, who has been a streamer, right? We know that there's this type of stigma, especially for the older generation, when it comes to technology. Not just AI, technology as a whole. So when you see your kids playing games, you're like, that not getting money, that not nothing feel. But now we have an evolving type of world in general where technology is like the main money funding area. So now how do you guys as parents, because I'm not a parent, so I'm asking to you guys, how do you guys as parents plan on being more open to more technological types of diversities in terms of the working world?
I would love to respond to that. As a parent of a 12-year-old who's way advanced and a 7-year-old who is going on 70, she told me. So I decided, since I'm in the room with my AI tools, to quickly decide where my son is going to go in the AI world and give him an option, right, of 20 possible careers. So while we were sitting here, I didn't have to research and go to the library and dig up 10 books. All I said to ChatGPT, give me 21 new careers in AI for students to consider. Here goes. AI research scientist conducts advanced research to develop the new AI algorithms and models. Machine learning engineer designs and implements machine learning algorithms for various applications. Boom! Data scientist. Wow! Analyzes and interprets complex data to help organizations to make data-driven decisions. You want to hear more for your kids? AI ethicist examines the ethical implications of AI technologies and develops guidelines for responsible use. And AI product manager. I mean, there's so many options for them, but we have to get them ready because that's where the world is going, right? And so when my dad was sick as a parent, this is what I'm saying. When my dad was sick and I got the medical report, I didn't need the doctor to interpret it for me. I dropped every result in an AI and I could tell you everything that was wrong. And yes, I was right. I knew exactly what was happening with his liver, his heart, everything, because of a simple 5-minute ask or prompt to ChatGPT to interpret and also let me know how long does he have, how bad is it, and it was right. So the future is here. Let's get excited about the 21 careers our children will take on for the future. So that's what I think is important. Let's look and let's research and forecast the opportunities for our children to become multi-billionaires and creators of the technology, right, Matthew? We have a problem. We consume a lot. And my challenge with AI, having a media company, is sometimes I'm creating content and I can't find enough characters that look like us or sound like us when I'm creating quick AI videos for clients. So you have these, and you say, use a Jamaican accent. Some of them don't even have that yet. And so we have to put that information, as you know, that's what, we are the ones who put the information into the tool. So if we want to have more AI culturally relevant content, then we also need the Matthews and your children to put that in so it is representative of who we are. You understand? That we won't have that bias, cultural bias, with the tools that are out there, right? So put in the ackee and saltfish, show them how to make dumpling, because all of that information isn't there. So the AI character can't make the ackee and saltfish right now because we didn't put it in there, yeah? So this is where we have to go.
An point onto that, I love the open-mindedness that you have as a parent when it comes to AI and utilizing AI, or you're just ready to jump on board with careers to them, right? That's very supportive. But there are other aspects as well to technology. For example, graphic designing. You might have a child that just loves to draw. Parents are not as open-minded when it comes to different careers like that, different technological advances like that. Things like, okay, I'm on social media every day. Your child could be a social media organizer, or what do we call that word now? Influencer. You could be the person that creates the post for them, and that's a content creator. There's money in fields like that. Yes. So I don't think parents are open-minded when it comes to, parents are open-minded when it comes to different various fields like that. Whether it be, you're designing, whether it be a program, whether it be video gaming, there's money in things like that. There's money in robotics, there's money in playing with toys, there's money with streaming, there's money all over the place. But because of that, I don't want to say age barrier, but someone would have mentioned the neuroplasticity. So I feel like, we have this slogan in Jamaica, every child can and every child must learn. But like, when do you stop being a child? I think parents are able to actually learn as well, and they should be able to learn as well, and be more open-minded in things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
thank you.
And I want to suggest that this is why the parenting and AI conversations at this point is so important, and we will continue these conversations all the way back to October of next year. This month is just what we're using to launch the conversations on parenting and AI from the Ministry of Education, National Parenting Support Commission standpoint. So those points are really valid, but we believe that if we continue the conversations, if we continue to engage parents this way, and it may be more in other intimate settings, then parents will be more open and understanding, because oftentimes what we see as resistance is a lack of understanding. So we really are assuming that people know. The fact that you know and you're using the tools doesn't mean that every parent understands. And so through our schools, we're bringing the conversations to parents, in schools and in communities through engagements like these, so that people will be more open and they'll be more understanding of how to support their children. I want to say that I can't sit here not talk about parenting. It's a parenting forum. To say that the family values, those principles that you hold dear, must apply in this new stage and age. So if it is that one of the values is that when my child is finished with homework, I have to check the homework, then it doesn't matter what tool the child would have used to get the homework done, the family value still obtains. So the fact that your parent would have sat with you for hours to do a paper and then to check, but now the parent says go to AI. Once that task is complete, then you're going to look to see, was it answered accurately? Because remember, whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. You may want to question, are you better now understanding the concept? Is there anything else that you're still not understanding? Because you may need to advocate, to go to the teacher to say, listen, my child is still not understanding this point here, even with all the tools that are accessible. So you will hear me talking about this, because your values are the principles, how you use those to decide how you're going to parent. What are the things you hold dear? And a part of that, so AI will not negate a parent's responsibility. In fact, there are other responsibilities, or the responsibilities are going to look differently now. Empress and I were sitting as we're organizing for these sessions, and we saw a little baby. And he was throwing a tantrum, and his mom just handed him the tablet. And, you know, we kind of got into a little conversation.
Yeah, we were like, this is
we got into a conversation. But the fact is, the new technologies should not remove your parental responsibilities. And that is something I really want us to understand. So the values, which are your beliefs and your principles, should apply whether it's going to be an AI tool that we have now or an AI tool of the future. All right? That's important.
Thank you so much for that, Casey Carr. We're going to take, and thank you, Damien Ruse, for that. We're going to take one, and he's of Talk Up Youth team, so can we clap him? He's one of our brilliant Talk Up Youth advocates for a better Jamaica. And I'd like to take one more question or comment from one of our parent mentors here today.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kishai Wheeler Douglas.
Kishai.
Before I ask a question, you know, when I was introduced to AI, I mean, it popped up on my phone, because I'm always searching. So it popped up on my phone, and I'm saying, what is for? Because I don't need this. Then I started thinking, and it so happened that just last week, no, before that, my daughter came in. I was extremely tired. She had her homework when she took it to me, and I said, I really can't do this now. Honestly, I couldn't. I was really tired. And I said to her, go ask AI. Of course, she went on AI. I said to her, did it show the working out? She said, yes, mommy. And of course, she did it. She got what she wanted. But then I supervised afterwards, because after she gone in, I checked the book to see if there was really a working out. You understand? But just last week, I realized I had a presentation to do as it relates to AI. And I never had the time to do any form of planning and all of that. However, I went on to AI, and of course, I put in our theme for this year, and it gave me a vague explanation, but I said I wanted more. And I went in, you know, as it relates to parenting and all of that, and we had a beautiful discussion with the parents. Some of them never even know about NPSC, which we introduced. We show them how to use AI to get the information that they needed as it relates to the Parenting Commission, as it relates to AI. And a lot of them left saying that, boy, I really have to go get this from my phone and make my daughter or my son show me how to do it. Now, my thing is, I think with AI, it might seem to be the lazy way, but it really isn't. It's actually a way of exercising your brain, because what you put in, remember this, that the vague aspect of what you put in that you will get out, right? If you seriously want information, in-depth information, it's going to allow your brain to think. And once your brain is thinking, then you will enter the information that is needed, right, to get the answers that you want. Now, my question is, as it relates to the different jobs and all of that that's related to it, I want to know, as it relates to education, how would we address the situation as it relates to the schools? Because, the subject areas that are being offered now, is that going to be changing? How do we look at that?
That's why we're here. You are the parents. You have elected officials. You have policy makers. You have ministers. If you are not saying what you want, adding to the conversation, sitting on the boards, helping to present a bill in Parliament for policy change in education and AI, if you are not opening up your mouth and talking, then nobody's going to hear us. So if you believe that this AI can help to advance the education sector, then the question is, how do we play our part, right? Education starts at home. I'm sure my CEO will agree. My child knew how to raise $2,800 on a crowdfunding platform, US, to get himself to America to play football next year, not because of what he learned in school, but because I showed him. So now that we have information, we can now show our children 22 new careers. They can use this to learn everything. Everything is on Google. There are courses, there's information out there, there are books online. They can learn everything and anything they want. How to be a pilot, how to fly a plane, how to become whatever engineer. Everything is here. There's nothing you can't learn here. So we need to encourage our children to seek knowledge beyond the classroom while we fix the classroom. And if we're in the classroom, turn up at PTA, go and talk to your principals, talk to your teachers. But you heard from our speakers earlier that we have to educate the teachers, because it's the teachers who are going to teach the children. And my husband says this all the time, you can't expect them to teach the children if they don't know. So we've got to go into the teachers' colleges and we have to teach the teachers, right? So, and that's in respect to Garveyism. But I think the same thing applies with AI. But we are powerful with everything that we need to know right here. So we need to be the first line of educators, and then we send them out while the policy makers and those, as Jamaicans would say, heads of government, the bigger heads them, while they make the policy change, we have to also nudge them and say, we want you to do this. We have a right to talk. Get in the newspaper if you want to say something. Write some articles about advancing education and AI. We have to open up and be involved. And that's why I like what the National Parenting Support Commission is doing, because they are galvanizing the parents across Jamaica to have conversations, to be educated. And this agency sits under the Ministry of Education. So you have a voice and a mouthpiece right here to go back to our minister and right there and say, hey there, this is what we want to see in the ECC institutions. Every baby must have a tablet. You heard from the speakers earlier, there are classrooms using it. And I remember looking and seeing a couple of classrooms around the world which have AI tools. Matthew, I'd like you to just confirm this for me. I'm not an expert. I'm not an AI researcher. But this learning tool, and Nadine has many of them that she was sharing with you, can also say, my son Kush, he's doing 12th grade math in first form. Not Nogoso, I'm just saying, I'm dreaming. But the AI tool will adapt the program, right, to suit the child's learning needs. If we're all here in a classroom, I'm not great at physics, right? But you are. We're in the same class, same age. Why are you learning what I'm learning when you are way more advanced? We need to, and AI can do that in a second. And I've seen it work in classrooms across the world. So we do need to get, but who's going to program it? Who is going to monitor it? But the teacher can monitor the AI, which can teach and knows a lot more than any one of us in this room. Matthew, can you please have the final comment on that as a researcher, the way forward for the classrooms and education as a youth? What do we need to teach the teachers? What can the classroom look like? Just share a vision for us. Is it on? Sorry.
Yeah, I think the classrooms of the future, so it's going to change from what it is right now, where you have one teacher, everybody is learning the same lesson, everybody is kind of forced to go at the same pace, and even if there are kids in there that aren't necessarily interested in that, whatever they're teaching, they still have to kind of go along with everything. I think it's going to change where it's more tailor-made. So just imagine a classroom where every student has their own personalized teacher or tutor. And it can essentially basically learn from the student, you know, what are the subject areas they're most interested in, what are the subject areas they're weakest in, and it can learn to essentially curate the content that the student would need to know to essentially improve in whatever area. So, you know, I'm excited for the future in terms of education, but it's really, the onus is on us to embrace the technology, embrace the change, and honestly, it's going to upset some people who are used to the traditional way of doing things. Some things are going to have to change, some positions may need to change, but, you know, if we want our kids to be able to, you know, embrace the future and, you know, just be good stewards of the future going forward, we're going to have to embrace the change. And I mean, even to his point, in terms of like, even new careers, you have to embrace that. There are going to be careers in the future that, trust me, it's not going to make any sense to you. They're going to say, I want to be this, and like, what are you doing? Go, man, go do some work. Or go take up your maths book, or what you talking about? You want to go on camera and play a video game and make money. That don't make any sense. But
yeah, I saw a guy sleeping on TikTok because I was learning the tool, and he was making money. He was in India, and he might have a big belly, he might have no shirt, he lie down there asleep, and he might get taps and roses, and me I say, oh, what this, Father God? It's real.
So we have to understand that the economy is changing, and the economy is changing, and it's a content-driven economy right now. Like, everything is content-driven, and we just have to embrace what's new.
Yep.
In fact, what we should do is actually help them to, if they kind of want to go into this area, empower them. Maybe if they want a camera to start something, hey, help them out. You know, don't discourage them. It could prove very beneficial to you one day, let's just say. But yeah.
Final word from our CEO, and hold on, you wanted to respond, CEO, or she wanted to ask one question?
You want to ask?
Or say something? Yeah, just come up to the side for me. Thank you. No, use this one. And then we're going to ask our CEO to close, and then we're going to have some refreshments courtesy of Restaurant Crave, Creative, Talk Up Youth, and the NPSC. Look like you guys want to stay all day. Listen, I'm going to leave you all here. I'm seeing, I need a question. But that's good. It's your day, so let's go.
All right, so just a simple question.
Michael.
Speaking about embracing, I would like to know, is it Mr. Stone? Do you, at your organization, do you have something where you facilitate the learning of young minds, like children, even parents, probably be it robotics, learning about AI or anything like that that can encourage the whole
learning,
transition
yeah.
of, right.
I'm glad you asked that question because, I mean, that was one of the reasons why I started the association in the first place. Because I knew, as the country kind of was going into this new AI future, there were going to be a lot of questions about, how do you use the technology? And there needed to be sort of like an entity or somewhere that people could go to that, hey, if I need to learn about this, maybe I could go to them and learn what I need to learn. So yes, that's actually one of the things that we do. We actually keep workshops, and as I said, follow us on social media. Our handle is JIA_876. So whenever we have workshops, you'll see it, and I'd encourage you guys to come out, learn as much as possible about the technology so that you can help your kids going forward.
Thank you. Right before Tessa, we have one more parent comment or question, and then we close.
Pertaining to helping the parents, it would be good if we have some form of intervention like PTA meeting or stuff, so we can introduce it to the parents, because that would make the teacher work much, much easier. And that would make the parents understand more what the child is coming home with.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what the Parent Month and beyond and the National Parenting Support Commission in general is about. So we're here to ensure that we build the capacities of parents. We work through schools. I want everyone who is in a white t-shirt with the National Parenting Support Commission logo to just stand for me quickly. If you're in a white t-shirt, you have to have on a white t-shirt with the logo to stand. These are parent mentors. We have about 500 of them across the country. By the end of this fiscal year, we should have about 750. They are our tentacles in the field. They're the ones who are mapped to schools, and they work in their communities. Shelby Spalding, who is standing. Shelby has created an entire successful business, an entire business, through her leveraging the training she has received at Heart. So I'm saying to you, younger ones who are interested in the AI tools and understanding the new technologies, coding and so on, Heart is an agency that is a part of the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information. You can also go to Heart and develop the skills. Further to that, we do run these sessions all year round on different topics. We build the capacities of parents through our engagement with schools and in communities. And we work with the PTA as well. So remember, the National Parenting Support Commission is here to do, as we say, support parents along their parenting journey. And Empress, I have the final word. I want to say this has been a wonderful merger of youth and parenting. After all, it is National Parent Month, but it's actually Youth Month. And it's Community Month as well. So we're bringing, and it's what's, Nicole? And it's Volunteers Month. Volunteerism Month, right? There's a whole lot going on. So we have put all these communities together. This is a wonderful merger. I want to say to all parents out there, Happy Parent Month. Continue to support your children, support them through their educational journey and give them just general support. And visit your school and ask about the programs we have established in schools. Support the PTA. Be an advocate and a champion for your children. Ensure that you're understanding the curriculum. The conversations will continue beyond this month. This is just a start. We're continuing these conversations all throughout the year. So we're looking forward to seeing parents showing up at the schools once the schools have organized the sessions, so that you can ask questions, give your suggestions, participate, because that's what we believe in. We believe in parental involvement, and we believe where schools and home partner, children benefit. Thank you so much. Happy Parent Month to all parents. Happy Youth Month as well.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you everybody streaming on live and everybody who will watch this video post this event. Please drop your comments. If you have educational tools that you are using, please drop it in the comments under the video. And the video is live on Talk Up Youth's YouTube page, so let's continue the conversation there. Again, to all our speakers, we appreciate you. All our partners, thank you. Talk Up Youth, National Parenting Support Commission, Flow, the Jamaica Library Service, and of course, all our other partners in the room, the Affinity Crew, Restaurant Creative, everybody that's here. Parents, thank you. And the Global Parenting Initiative, thank you so much. Thank you. And big up the Talk Up Youth radio show and all of our presenters and producers who are here, who will carry the good news to radio on Saturday. All right? 11 to 1 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. Thank you so much, everyone.